Greetings from paradise. I'm in Bali, Indonesia right now, and this amazing technology that I can be with you from the other side of the world. We're 13-hour time difference right now, and it is very warm here, but it is raining right now. And so I'm able to bring this to you from outside on my patio and allow you to be a little bit connected with the gardens and the elements of nature. It is my pleasure to be here with you all and be a part of this forum. It is a joy to listen every day to the recordings that have been posted so far. And I learn something new every day, as much as I am and learning. And I would like to share with you today a little bit about increasing the ability of your sacred space to aid you in this work of transformation, of alchemical change from and awareness and consciousness and emotional maturity that this work is encouraging. And I want to share with you how to build a sacred vortex in your sacred space so that the work can progress in maybe exponential ways. The vortex connects with the sacred spiral, and it torques and spins and connects heaven and earth and the realm of the unmanifest, the void, the place where everything, every possibility is dormant, but available for us to call upon. And with a vortex, we use the mother to open the space. The divine feminine opens and holds the space, becomes the container, the holy grail for the masculine light and information and knowledge to enter. Without her to open the space, there's nowhere for God's light to go or do or be. And so our sacred vessel, our temple, so to speak, needs to be clear, needs to be able to connect with the possible, the potential, and call it in, as well as transforming and removing, releasing, transforming that which might prevent us from calling in everything that we need to be our most authentic self, our truest nature and essence. So I invite you to begin opening your space with the heart breath as we tune in. Let us call on our guides, our guardians, all of those that are supporting us, who love us and care for us and want us to be our truest nature, to call on all of those helpers as we honor ourselves and call on our highest self, our source self, our biggest self to be with us. And breathe. Breathe into the heart. Breathe into that sacred flame in the altar of our chest. Perhaps put your hands in prayer pose and push up against your sternum to activate the chakra there and the thymus gland. Breathe in to that sacred flame in the altar of our chest. Pour love into your heart. Pour love into the flame to stimulate that sacred fire to burn bright and true and clear. From your heart, drop down into the earth. Allow your breath to take you deeper as you exhale, each breath dropping you down deeper and deeper into the core of the earth, to the heart of the mother. Allow yourself to go to the very center of the earth, to that molten, liquid, crystalline structure in the very center, and allow your liquid crystalline protein structure that runs through your connective tissue. That liquid crystal is the same as the liquid crystal of your smart pad or your smartphone. That's how your finger can interact with it. So, dropping down, accessing all the elements, the plants, the elementals, the minerals, the electrolytes, everything that you need to support you, bringing that up on the next breath into your heart. Hold that breath. Let the energies mingle in your heart as you suspend your breath. Exhale, radiate that out on the next breath. Inhale back to your heart center. Exhale up to the heavens, to the heart of the Father. Each exhale, allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper into the heavens, to the masculine energy of information, understanding, and allow yourself to connect with all of the intelligence of the stars, of the planets, bringing that in on your next breath, suspending it, letting it mingle and mix and tingle with your energy of earth and feminine and your sacred heart. Pour love on it as you exhale, radiate that out. Allow yourself to feel everything that you're grateful for right now. And let that gratitude also build that sacred fire so that we might radiate out into the world all that we are, and this love and compassion and gratitude. And open your eyes if you've closed them, and begin to ask and connect with the nature spirits and devas and elementals of the area in which you are right now. And most likely you are at home in your sacred space that you've already begun to create for this work. Now, a sacred vortex uses the spiral and torque to help the energies that might be stagnant or inappropriate, harmful, to be lifted and transmuted and restored to their right place so that they have the possibility of becoming their truest form and function. So we go down first and we ask for the help of the intelligence of nature that holds and creates form. So take a second or two or three and ask to connect with the intelligence of nature around you and in your place, because it is them who will help you build this vortex. Your intention, along with their ability to bring from energy into matter, into form. Drop your awareness down into your will center, your navel center. It's about 3 fingers below your belly button. The sea of chi, the gate of life, the fire within the water. This is the center of the pelvic basket of the container. Breathe from there. Again, it is the divine feminine that's going to open the space and hold it. And we must go down before we can go up. Must go in reverse in order to go forward. To retreat in order to move forward. Dropping down, now ask your team to create for you, and I'm going to speak it in the first person so that if you would like to, you can just skip to this part of the video just to create your vortex and not have to listen to the whole explanation. So, to begin, I call on all of those who love and care for me, including my source self, my big ass self, to be with me from the unconditional and pure loving heart, mind, body, and will of God to aid in this work that I'm about to do. I call on the nature spirits, devas, and elementals of the area I'm in. I ask that a sacred vortex that is in alignment with the loving heart, will, mind, and body of God to come be with me now, to build this vortex, this spiral of love that goes down deeper and then up into the heavens, to aid me in moving, transforming, transmuting any energies that may be inappropriate, unnecessary, that are harmful or limiting me or limiting this area, any stagnant, old, and redundant energies that are no longer serving me or the place that I am in. I ask that these be gently and safely, with the greatest of ease, transformed by this sacred vortex. And as I tune in to the vibration of this spiral, the vibration and energy of this sacred vortex, I feel the energies being cleared and lifted, loved and forgiven, dissolved and transmuted, restored, and remembered to the right place so that they can become their truest nature and essence. I ask that this be done again with the greatest of ease and grace, gently and safely, the way the mother would do it. Allow that to lift what is no longer working. Whatever is not your energy, know that Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit will take it to its right place. You don't have to worry about where it's going. And that what is your energy will be restored to you in its most loving and nourishing and creative actions and virtues. Feel that transformation taking place now. Know that this vortex is your personal vortex, and it only really is as big as your arms go wide. So it's not a vortex necessarily that would be around your house or your workplace. It's good to start with a personal vortex first, and then later you can perhaps build one in your workplace to help facilitate the energies there and also connect your personal vortex with others. Natural vortexes of sacred places around the world, as well as our group. And it would be easier, I think, for us to connect and help each other in our process as we connect our vortex. There are vortices within vortices, and you don't have to go through this whole process every time you step into your vortex. You can simply say, I'd like to activate my vortex to help everything be restored into love, into that unified field of love. And you can enter your vortex quickly, say, activate, accelerate, because I need some help. Perhaps you're angry about something. Perhaps you're disgusted with something, or you're grieving or sad. You can enter into this and know that your space is going to help you process this quicker. You can heighten your feelings and emotions and quickly transform them. You go into it to come out of it. It's a much easier, more efficient way to work with your sacred space. So I hope you'll enjoy transforming with the sacred vortex. Next time, we'll do a little bit more work with how the pelvic structure, that holy grail of our pelvic basket, our container, our divine feminine, holds so much that we have a hard time transforming a lot of time. Even gravity just sort of settles everything down there into the pelvis, and we hold a lot there, physically and emotionally, even spiritually sometimes. So very powerful and important work to open that pelvis so that it is strong and capable of holding these higher vibrations that we're connecting with now, and be the anchor for those vibrations coming onto the planet now. So today we're going to just do a little bit of work with opening the pelvis through the ear. Now, of course, there's often something with the neck that refers down to the pelvis. So I'm going to show you the neck points also, and I'm going to show you the way that the motor and sensory cortex comes on the brain. It's like this. There's two pathways here. Now the motor pathway comes from the body up to the brain. The sensory nerves, fibers, go from the brain back down to the body. So you have an injury, you have some kind of trauma to your, whether it be physical or emotional, the message comes up. So the right ear goes to the right side of the body, left ear goes to the left side. But as that motor fiber, nerve fiber comes up, it comes up through the medulla oblongata, the hindbrain, through the limbic brain, the emotional brain, crosses over through the thalamus to the opposite side of the head, to the neocortex on this side, where we perceive pain. And then a message is sent back down through the thalamus to that side of the body through the sensory nerves that say, oh, you've injured yourself. You're in pain. Be careful. Be careful how you move it. Hold it. Contract a little bit more. And pain causes us to constrict. Now, what can happen is that thalamus is recording all of this. And it's like, the old vinyl records, there were grooves in it where the sound was recorded. But if a scratch got on there, it would end up just repeating the same thing over and over again. This record was caught in that groove. Well, that's what happens a lot of times in us. So the source of pain may be gone, but we're still perceiving it as pain and still contracting around that area. So what we want to do first of all is locate that thalamus point and start to erase that memory. So the ear is a dynamic of the whole body. Now, it's not the adult body, it's a fetus. The head's here and the body is sort of wrapped around in the way a fetus would be, curled up. So this is the brain and the head and the face, the jaw. This is also the limbic brain, the emotional brain here, the eyes down here, the sinus are up in here. I guess I should use my little hammer, it might be easier to see. So we have the pituitary gland, and inside it's kind of hard to see. You kind of have to fold back down in order to get inside the bottom part of the concha here. And if you feel around, you can use your fingernail. I often use my thumb or my pinky to feel for the most tender spot in there. Aha, there, I've got mine. Can you see that? I'm going to make a little indentation with my tool. And that is what you're going to want to hold and press on maybe 10 times, maybe longer. And it's going to be painful. And you're really like, ow. But sometimes we have to go into the pain to come out of the pain. We tend to try to avoid pain. And you know what? We end up just making it sink in even deeper and deeper. Each time that pain pathway goes up, it gets recorded deeper and deeper and deeper. There are more pathways created for pain. So we have to erase that. And so we can start over again. Now, you may want to take a few moments and do that point at the end of our session here. Now, I want to show you also. So the spine comes up along this ridge. The tailbone is up in here. It's upside down. So I have to kind of feel first, and then I can put my tool on here. This is a 3-volt battery that helps us locate points, by the way. So here is where the occiput and the neck meet. That's a very powerful point to do. Now, there's a sort of a continuum along this ridge. There's the muscle, the disc, the vertebra is more like right at the top, like right there. So if you kind of feel around on that ridge inside a little bit, you'll get a little bit more, find what's most tender. It's very diagnostic. You can figure out if it's a disc or if it's muscle or if it's a bone. It's really awesome that way. So that's the neck. That's where the neck meets the skull. And then we're going to come up. Now, because the neck does so much, there's more sensory and motor nerves in the brain. So the neck portion is actually quite long. Get my hair out of the way there. So it comes all the way up to here. Like if you run your finger up, you'll feel where there's like some tougher cartilage. And it's actually right in line with this. This is the solar plexus, by the way, which also often gets very tight. We hold a lot of our worries down in that solar plexus. So if you follow that ridge that will also bring you to where the neck meets the thoracic up here. And then the thoracic isn't that long. It goes up and around, and then we come to the lumbar. And the lumbar then is the first and second lumbar are in alignment with our hips. Our hips are actually in this little scapha, this little hollow up in the top of the ear. It's at the very point where at the kind of corner there, the bottom corner of it. So usually if you've got some hip, low back stuff going on, those points will be tender. And you can take your finger, find the most tender spot. Now it might be lower, might be in the sacrum, it might be down in here. Of course, the tailbone's right in where this comes in. It's right in there. So for me, that's my most tender spot right now. So I would probably hold that and do some stuff to help release my tailbone. You can take your thumb or your finger and find your most tender spot, and then find the corresponding point on the back, because the front of the ear is the sensory nerves and the back are the motor. So we want to get both the front and the back. So we're releasing the memory and telling the brain, oh, I don't have to do that anymore. And as you're holding these points, you can also be tuning into that part of your body and maybe give it a voice or make a metaphor out of it. Inside me right now, it feels like and then go into it. I feel like you can do many things to tune in and feel what you're holding perhaps in that area. Maybe it's an old fear. Maybe we hold a lot of anger in our hips too. So maybe it has something to do with, your frustration, or maybe it has something to do with your longing for everybody to be okay and everything to be okay in this world, to be more compassionate and kind. And, you never know what you're going to find until you take the time to go in there and be with it. And just kind of say, I'm so sorry you've had to hold these things for so long. And I invite you to transform now so that we can tap into our power and abundance and our hopes and our dreams and make them a reality. Manifest everything that we need to be our most authentic, truest, empowered self and be of great service in the world. So I hope this was of service to you today. And I am so grateful for this forum. I'm so grateful for Tammy creating this virtual retreat and us learning this technology. And I'm grateful for the technology too. And I am grateful for you. To thank you for receiving this information and being with me today in paradise.